Hey guys, welcome to Iron Mike's FAI racing. This is at Interlagos, race 1. I thought I'd try something different and not qualify at all. That ended me up in 19th place. I thought I want to start at the back and be relaxed and see how far I can get through to the front. So 19th place I start. Did a bit of practice, of course, throughout the week on both nations and manufacturers, and I felt comfortable, so comfortable enough to start from the back. I guess usually if I try and qualify hard and I'm probably, let's say, position 7, I feel like I'm sandwiched and there's a lot of pressure. So starting from the back, there's no pressure at all. So race 1, off we go. 17 laps is plenty of time to start moving through the pack. I don't know why, just go a little bit wide here, lose a bit of ground, but not to worry. Again, no pressure. Someone's getting a bit loose and knocks me around. Again, I haven't lost any positions, but yeah, very loose off the track he goes. So up to 18th. I have cut through this race quite a bit. So 17th. He loses control, and there's another car, so down to 16th, 15th. I think still on lap 3. So lap 3 I'm in 14th. It gets a bit bunched here, and there's a bit of collisions going on. I did hit a guy called Tomato no Yoami, and got myself a penalty, knocked the car wide there, so from 3 seconds to 5. So at this point I'm thinking, I started 19th, I'm making ground, like maybe 5 steps up, and then it goes 3 steps back. So pay my penalty I didn't realise at the time, I thought it was 3 seconds, and it just kept going and going. It's horrible. But luckily I only lost 2 spots, so from 11th down to 13th, and continue on. Lap 4, trying to remember, oh that's right, my brake marker cones were gone, and oh, where are they? Whoops. And just lost my brake point. I guess not only do you lose your brake point, you lose your concentration, you just briefly panic. Lost a lot of ground there. So down to 13th, and this is my sportsmanship here. This is Tomato no Yoami, and I give him his spot back. At some point he's going to know I hit him, although it wasn't my fault, that was in that bunched up corner. So do the right thing and hand it back. So this is me pitting. Look at this shot, this is the pit wall. It's a good camera shot there. Just quickly through the pits, and I'm coming out in position 18. So it hasn't really gone to play in this race. All 3 races I started off with hard fronts and medium rears, and then finish off on mediums, and finally worked my way back into 16th. And I wasn't frustrated at this race, but I just wasn't happy with myself. So we will look forward to race 2. Now race 2 I didn't do the no qualifying, I actually did qualify. Gave it a bit of a better shot. There's a mate of mine, as Remedy, I'll mention him a bit later. So in qualifying I did give it a shot and qualified 9th, which wasn't as good as what I was hoping, but it's better than last. So starting race 2, starting in position 9, and again things seem to go a bit wrong, and this is what I'm talking about, the pressure, about just luckily for me, people generally behave. But my mate Ez Remedy, he goes a bit wide, goes off track on the left, and then rejoins behind. And I've gone from 9th to 7th. And around this corner I make up a few more positions. So I'm in 6th, 7th, 6th, down to 5th. So Ez Remedy, who I know quite well, he started 7th, I started 9th, and then on the same lap near the end, here he is behind me. So I knew that he's making a charge, and I was losing the people in front of me, and the people behind were gaining. So again, he's my friend, but this is my in-car view or bumper cam. So again, the sportsmanship comes in, and it's time for me to let him go. He's charging, so I'll put my indicator on to say go, and he takes it, he sees it and goes for it, and I was proud of that. Ooh, don't go too wide. And I was actually quite happy he acknowledged it in the race. And there goes his hazards. Thank you. So if I do wildly hit people, it's usually 99% of the time it's by accident. I just like to have people know around me that they can trust me. So here, I'm trying to think what happens here. This guy here, he goes a bit wide and then swings back in, and yeah, so that, I think I was in 4th or 3rd. Yeah, I was in 3rd. So replay, yeah, 3rd. So replay again, just normal speed, and yeah, just sort of swung in. He didn't actually get a penalty for that, I was surprised. So lap 9, this is my lap to pit, so you can see I've got hards and mediums on, and there's that famous wall again. Do another quick pit here. Come out in position 16. Again, it's not really going to plan. But look at that, lap 12, I'm in 7th. Things are looking alright. Much better. Here comes Lucky lap 13. Lucky for some. So this guy here in screenshot, he goes a bit wild, a bit loose, and for me that was red rag to a bull, and I get a little bit too much on that curb and lose it. So you just see around here, so he's losing it a bit there, he's gone a bit wide, and I just thought, oh, I've got him here. He just goes a little bit to the right, so I thought I'll go on the inside. Too much. Oh, and my engine. It's funny to say in hindsight, oh, I should have just taken my time, and that's in hindsight. So anyway, continue on. Still dealing with a blown engine. So on lucky lap 13, I'm in 13th. And then I finally finish off the race in 12th. But then for some reason I go to 11th, so I think this Mulesy guy didn't do his tyres. Yeah, he's dropping. So that was lap race 2, so now the real race. This music for me, I just think of Superman. This bit, I just picture him flying over buildings. I don't know why, and then it goes into an orchestral sort of bit. But to me, it's very Superman music. Some may say Batman. I don't know. I don't even know if Batman has music. Something to think about there. So anyway, yeah, you just saw me there. I hate to say it, but I think this was, I was going to title this "Scraping the Barrel." After the first two races, not doing so well. My driver rating B, I thought I was going to drop to a C, but it's pretty low at this point. So when the menu of drivers popped up, there are a lot of C and D drivers in here. I was one of the few B drivers. Slippery Knickers, I had an issue with this guy. I've seen him in a Jev Racing video. If you haven't seen Jev Racing, check him out. But I had a bit of an issue with Slippery Knickers in the driver Slippery Knickers in this. Actually, the whole weekend, both manufacturers and nations, I found them to be a little bit rough, a little bit argy-bargy. But maybe that's the group I'm associating with. I need to get myself into an A group. I'm sure they never drive rough. Sarcasm. So that should be, yeah, all the 19 drivers, excuse me, qualified 5th. But again, I think the driver quality in this wasn't as good. So you see how I saw Key, this guy on YouTube, Key25, he does this. He put his fuel mix to 6, and then when he's ready, he drops it. Fuel saving. I don't know if it works. I didn't really notice anything, but it didn't hurt to try. So we're going to go through the whole race here. And again, so that was, so you got a bit loose there. But around that first corner where you're expecting someone to send it or punt, didn't really happen, luckily. But maybe if you're at the back, it would. You'd feel it. Because, you know, obviously people further back have a greater distance, their speeds are getting higher, and they're just not ready for all these cars going around nice and smooth. So I've moved forward into 4th, and I remember thinking, yeah, sure, I've got to try and do some fuel saving, or maybe through short shifting, but my aim at the moment was to try and catch these 3 guys and just get in their slipstream. But unfortunately, I seem to fail to do that. I guess once you're in the slipstream, you've got that advantage, which I didn't have. And so at some point I'm watching the guys in front slowly moving away, and in my mirror I can see the guys behind slowly catching up, which kind of told me that I was racing like a dud. I was in that no man's land. So, so the 3 guys in front, which is Brandford, Gotto, Tricky Brewer. I've raced against Tricky Brewer before. I couldn't say I know him. Slippery Knickers is behind me, but I've never raced against him. They're Hidden File, I know. Deep Reverington, I know. And AB Saints. Now those 3 guys, now whether or not they know each other, I'm not sure, but if I was to encounter them, I would be confident that if they're wanting to overtake, they would do it cleanly at the right point and not just shunt people off the track. But having said that, if I don't see it as giving up a place, but if I see a car, like if my tyres are worn and I see it, and I'm on hards and someone's on fresh softs, if I see them coming up to me pretty quick, I look for the nearest straight and let them go. I don't want to be the person who is holding people up. To me, that's not racing. I've said it before, it's childish. Everyone's got their own strategies, so I try not to interfere as best I can. I think maybe a few months ago, when I was a bit more of a rookie, I would try and get out of people's way, but I ended up losing focus off my own racing line, and I found myself just getting in the way. You know, it's braking and slowing down at the wrong point. So, just getting back to the race, the three guys, obviously you can see they're just pulling away, and I'm not catching them. And the guys behind is slowly getting in my slipstream. And I'm feeling like a sitting duck. And obviously, maybe what's going through my mind, as much as I can see them catching up, I'm trying to think to myself, obviously, where are my weak points and where's my strengths? And I think my weak points are, I'm just going into corners a bit too hard. See, Slippery Knickers has a look. But I think maybe my strength here might be my top end speed. I just seem to pull away a little bit. I think even when they're in my slipstream, I'd be just pulling away maybe by some hundredths of a second. And they're not really catching up pretty hard, are they? They're not really a threat to overtake. But then come the corners, see here, I think I exit quite well out of that corner. So again, you can see me pulling away. But the three guys in front, they're literally gone. And I think maybe while I was in the race, I'd hate to say it, but you're kind of hoping that one of them, or two or three, begin to fight and slow down. But it is very early in the race, lap 4, so again I'm using the same strategy, which is hard fronts, medium rears. My brake balance, you probably saw it, is -1, so 1 to the front. I'm leaning on those hard tyres, and my pitting will occur on lap 9, I'm pretty sure. So it just lap after lap, the guys behind are catching up and just falling behind, and they're just there. Yeah, so you can see Slippery Knickers is 0.915. So I'm actually pulling away, slowly pulling out of the slipstream. So this is my strong point, really. And lap 5, the tyres seem to be holding up pretty well. So, don't know about you guys, but for me, my brake balance, I tend to me, I'm pretty sure it would be the same for everyone. It changes depending on, I guess, what track you're on and what tyre you've got on. So looking at the same car, which I'm in the Mercedes-Benz, during the week I'll practice, and I'll set the brake balance at whatever feels good. But even if a brake balance feels good, if the tyres are wearing heavily, let's say on the rears, then I'll adjust the brake balance. Says Slippery Nick is just going for a tap. He's trying to make a move. He's caught up big time. So then I'll eventually find, see a tap there. He's trying to just unstabilise me, and he's done it. And you know, I think here I flash my lights at him, you know, to say, it's a bit rough. I'm pretty sure I do here. And if I do, no, it doesn't look like I do. But this is where I'm thinking, you know, that's not really racing. But having said that, he's probably saying, dude, you're just slowing me down. But I wasn't happy with it, you know. I was going to say overtake on the straights, but he would have known he can't, and here I am catching up pretty hard. Just braking a bit earlier than my normal brake point because of the slipstream. And how does he not get a penalty out of that? I don't know. And then I've got a hidden file in the Citroen. Just starting to make himself known. But again, he's one of my mates. And I know he'd be clean. So, look at this. Someone must have pitted. I've missed that. Yeah, so position 6 at that Brantford. So he's obviously pitted, and he's in position 6 now. But position 2, some things happen where we've caught up, and this is where things get a bit interesting, I think. Yeah, I come up on the inside, and bang. So during the race, I'm thinking that guy just got nasty with me. You know, he was tapping and bumping. So here's the replay, and I thought he's just trying to get funny with me there, and it didn't work. But looking at the replay, I'm starting to think maybe he was actually going for the pits. Who knows? But at the time, you know, with his behaviour before, tapping and pushing, I took that as, and not only that, unless it was a last second decision, that's a bit of an aggressive, you know, I need to get in the pits. And you would have had an idea that someone's beside you, surely. And if not, he didn't know I was beside him. He wasn't sure if he was going to be pitting, so to everything there is his fault. So Tricky Brewer gets himself through. I had to give it up. It was a bit too good there. And I have been learning, the more you fight to defend, everything is slowing down, and everyone else is just catching up. Yeah, so I was talking before about the brake balance. So as long as it's drivable, I'll aim for a brake balance that will basically wear the rears just a little bit more than the fronts. I don't like fronts being going a bit too wide. I don't like fronts being too worn, because then you just have total understeer. And the car, I think I was focusing on the car in front, and I just went a bit too wide there. And looking at the time gap, I'm 1.4, 1.3 seconds. And I think it was here I thought, no, I'm just going to stay on the driving line. There's a gap, and I should be able to get up to speed again in this corner. So this is this Bradford trying to push his authority on me, which is fair enough. He's pitted for fresh tyres, and I wasn't sure what he was on. I don't know now. I didn't look. So he could be on fresh mediums. I think he was trying the undercut there. See, again, that's just going for the old, you know, I'll try and squeeze in there. And, you know, he eventually gets it. Banterford. Alright. Just try and take advantage of it and grab a bit of slipstream. And if I'm up close to someone, I hate it, so I usually will end up braking early. You see me just pull out there to get a bit of vision, and for safety I brake a bit early. In the past I would almost forget about my brake point and just slam into someone, and then you're trying to prove your innocence when it doesn't look good. So funny enough for me, racing for position comes second to having a good reputation. I'd rather finish every race in 10th place and have everyone say, yeah, you're clean, you're good, than I'm in second or third in every race but everyone's going, you're a dirty dog. I don't get people like that, and they're just getting around with their name and it's marked, everyone knows. And you know what, after looking at the replay, I'm a bit lost on slippery knickers, because at the moment during the race I'm just thinking, I've never seen anyone as bad as that, trying to push people off, as blatant as that. So from hard to medium, off come the hards, and then just a little bit of fuel so I don't have to worry about it. Boom. And then on to mediums to the end. I don't understand this numbering system. They must look at it from the pit entry, because they're saying I'm now in lap position 13. Oh, now I'm in 6th. So coming out now, I've got slippery knickers in front of me, and then so I guess you begin to think to yourself where how many people have pitted already and how many are yet to pit, and if they have already, how long ago are their tyres worn, or if they haven't. So here's D Breverington. He's a mate of mine, so we've raced quite a bit and we respect each other. So you can see I just went a bit wide after he lost it and went off track. Not really because I want to give him heaps of room, but I don't want him coming back on and hitting me. So if we go for a pass here, which is on the cards, let's see how clean it is. You know, there's no real fighting. And then I'm hugging the inside, trying not to find myself drifting into his lane. That looked pretty slow going around there. But that kind of moving on that straight with D Breverington just allowing me to pass, you know, he would know in the future other races the shoe will be on the other foot, and he would know that there will be mutual respect. So I'm happy this is position 5. My fuel load is coming down, so the car's getting lighter. Oh, look at that, slippery knickers with his internet connection. It's disappearing, the connection. Yeah, so look at that. I'm just like, I give up, I'll go through it. Oh no, there he is. There he is. My God. Anyway, yeah, so my tyres are fresh. My fuel load is down. I'm in position 5. And I'm kind of just seeing people ahead of me starting to weaken a bit. Just got to make sure I don't spin out on that curb again. But I've still got to be careful of this guy. A, we've had a bit of an issue in the past, and B, his internet is all over the place. So it's picking my moments. I'm so careful because I thought if I try and go on the outside, he's just going to push me out. He's going to do something horrible. Even here, right, I got past him, I thought, here comes the punt. There's a tap. So he should give me a bit of a push, which is fair enough, I just gave him one before, but I guess under the pressure of it all when you're racing, my mind was fixed on this guy's dirty. I didn't have the hindsight of checking the replay, watching the rest of his race to see how dirty he is. So in my mind, this guy deserved the punting, but I knew that I would get a fair penalty. And a new enemy. So I just thought, you know, I'm gonna try and leave it. But I'm trying to work out when he spun out and I passed him, and even here I'm watching his movements and he's going behind me, and I thought, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. So I slowed down a bit. I'm very careful of this guy. Even here, so I stuck to the inside. It's funny when, again, he tries the old tap. Here again. And I don't know why, my tyres aren't too bad, but they're just getting a bit loose. Yeah. And you know what? I think I forgot my brake balance. I was meant to change it from -1 to +2. And I totally forgot, and I'm still leaning on those front tyres. And the fronts are starting to wear more than the rears. And I don't know when I realised it was right near the end. It's probably lap 16. And then I looked down at the tyres and thought, why are the fronts wearing more? So again, going from hard front medium back to just total medium, my brake balance needs to change. So here's AB Saints giving Slippery Knickers a bit of a what for. And I was hoping he'd hold Slippery Knickers up. It's a bad name. So we've still got, and they've been pretty consistent, Gatto, Butterford, Tricky Brewer, and then me in 4th, and then Slippery Knickers in 5th, and I'm pretty sure that's how lap 1 started. So here we go, yellow flags. Oh, look at that. They've been yellow flags. There's penalties. Things are starting to kick off. So 2 people in the pits. So I'm into 3rd. That's looking good, but I've still got slippery knickers behind me. So here's this penalty being paid. I thought, stuff it. I don't know if you're going to unghost, but I'm going for it. So straight through. So there's Tricky Brewer. He's gone in 2nd place. But I think Tricky Brewer's tyres are still pretty good. And that was only an incident that caused him to pull back. So he's it's going to be pretty hot in my tail. Just open the door for him. And I'm now driving like a twat. And I don't know if it was around here when I thought, why am I understeering so bad? So I'm slowly pulling away, but I know that the brake zone, punt incoming, here we go, here comes the punt. There's only a light tap. I don't think there was much malice in that. And that was from that Barterford. But again, I've been hit off, no penalty. So from, what was that, 2nd place down to 6, and we're on lap 16. So there goes podium, or has it? Let's keep an eye out. Slippery knickers, I'm not passing you. Keep moving, buddy. There you go. Fucking idiot. Alright. Let's see what happens up here. Wait for it, wait for it. Big dive bomb. Big dive bomb. From Tricky Brewer. So it looks like that Gotto, he's kept himself clean. And in 2nd is my mate, AB Saints. But I've still got slippery knickers behind me. I'm going to have to go back some point and watch the replay of how Tricky Brewer came from top 3 and dropped down to 8th. There was a dive bomb, but things obviously lead up to it. So, so I'm in 3rd. Wow, so that Gotto was 30 seconds in front. That's mad. Wow. So last lap, see, 2nd is too far to reach. I'm starting to think, oh, I'll just keep it clean and come in 3rd. At 3rd, I'd be happy with. So where did I start? I think I started 5th. I think I started 5th. Yeah. And look at that, AB Saints goes too wide off the grass. Like, you know, that's nice and clean. Race sportsmanship. I thought, you know, you had it, mate, you had it. You just one screw up. So I just go a bit wide and let him through again. I was waiting for the hazards. Maybe he didn't realise that I intentionally gave it back. Or maybe he's just still freaking out at, oh, look at that, I almost lose it. And so I've got VF 88225 or whatever it is. he was slowly catching, and I thought, oh no. But handed back second place to AB Saints. He deserved it. And apart from the first two races, that was the one that did it for me. Yeah, so from 5th up 2 places to 3rd and a whole 33 points. Amazing. It was a good weekend, just a little bit rough at points. Hopefully everyone else's races have gone well. See you next time.